Before we talk about the moment when Iblis faces the angel of death, we need to go back to the very beginning to understand his nature, his pride, and what eventually happened to him. Iblis wasn't always cursed like he is today. In fact, he used to be one of the righteous, a devoted worshipper, known for his piety and devotion. Even the angels recognized him for it. Many mistakenly think he was an angel, but he was actually a jinn, created from smokeless fire. Like humans, jinn were given free will. Some chose to obey, while others fell into disobedience. Among them, Iblis was the exception. His worship was so extraordinary that Allah elevated him to the rank of angels in the heavens. Because of his visible devotion and piety, he was given this honor. He used to be among the angels, witnessing the glory of Allah's throne. He was bathed in the light of Allah's mercy and absorbed in worship. Yet beneath this outward display of piety, there was a hidden arrogance, a sickness that hadn't shown itself yet but would eventually lead him to eternal disgrace. You're watching Soul of Islam, exploring the glorious history of Islam, and subscribe to the channel to stay inspired by motivational stories. And don't forget to like the video. Now, let's dive into today's main story. Then came the moment that changed everything. By Allah's infinite wisdom, Adam was created as the first human. Adam was made from soil. Allah himself shaped him by his own hand and breathed his spirit into him by divine command. Unlike the jinn created from fire or the angels made from light, Adam was formed from ordinary earth. Yet Allah honored Adam in a way that no one before him had ever been honored. When Adam was created, he was given knowledge that even the angels didn't have. He was taught the names of everything and given the ability to understand reasoning and to distinguish between good and bad. When Allah commanded the angels and Iblis to bow down to Adam, it wasn't just an act of worship, it was a mark of honor. It was an acknowledgement that Allah had appointed Adam for a great purpose. The angels, in their natural obedience, immediately prostrated without question because they were created without free will and were completely obedient to Allah's command. The devil was loyal to the Lord. But when he heard this command, he exploded with anger, jealousy, and pride. He refused, saying, "I am better than him." He arrogantly declared, "You created me from fire, but you created him from clay." This statement wasn't just a rejection, it was a proud declaration, an open challenge against Allah's decision. At that moment, the devil revealed what had been hidden inside him all along. He saw himself as superior, more deserving of honor than Adam, and more entitled to Allah's grace. He used to think that way, but in reality his pride only led him to his downfall. Allah banished him forever from his mercy. He was marked as cursed. But instead of repenting, Iblis made a reckless request. He didn't ask for forgiveness. He didn't beg for mercy. Instead, he asked for more time. "Give me time until the day of resurrection." What did Iblis want? He wanted to delay his punishment. He knew there was no escape from Allah's judgment, but he wanted to extend his existence. Why? Because he had a plan, a wicked, devilish plan. He wanted to mislead the children of Adam to prove his own superiority. He tried to corrupt them, deceive them, and drag them down into the same disgrace he had fallen into. Allah gave him this chance, but with a warning. "Surely you are among those given time, but certainly hell is the promised place for you and those who follow you." And that's how Iblis became the eternal enemy of humanity. From that moment on, he dedicated his existence to leading people astray. To do so, he tempted Adam and Eve in paradise, urging them to eat the forbidden fruit, which led to their being sent down to earth. But there was a difference between Iblis and Adam. Adam felt remorse. He asked for forgiveness, and Allah, in his infinite mercy, accepted his repentance. That was the fundamental difference between the two. One made a mistake and felt sorry. The other made a mistake but stubbornly held on to pride. Despite his arrogance and determination to mislead humanity, there is one truth Iblis cannot escape: death. The inevitability of death is a decree no one can avoid. Nothing created will be spared. Allah has declared in the Quran that every soul must taste death. Then you will all return to me. Surah Al-Ankabut 29-57. Every prophet, every king, every person, every angel, every jinn, everything created will one day face its end. Even the greatest angel, Gabriel, will taste death. Even Israfil, the one who will blow the trumpet to announce the end of this world, will taste death. Even the angel of death himself, Malak al-Maut, will taste death. So what about Iblis, how can someone who's been cast out of Allah's mercy hope to escape? Despite his arrogance, Iblis knows his time will come. He doesn't know when exactly, but he knows his existence is limited. He has seen generation after generation of humans right before his eyes. He has whispered evil into their ears, deceived them, led them astray, and watched as the angel of death came to claim their souls. He has seen the righteous die peacefully. Their souls are taken gently. They ascend to paradise, welcomed by the angels of mercy. And again, He's seen how sinners die painful deaths, their souls being torn from their bodies with agony and dragged toward punishment. Satan has witnessed all this, yet he keeps pushing his mission. He whispers into the ears of the rich and powerful, convincing them that their wealth, which is out of reach for others, will protect them from death. He feeds the prideful lie that their status will grant them immortality, but he knows the truth. He knows that when God's command comes, there's no escaping it. And the most dreadful moment for Satan will be when he sees the angel of death arriving. The time is coming. At that moment, all his pride, all his arrogance, and all his lies will be completely shattered. He will realize that the time he begged for is over. He will try to run away, but there will be nowhere to hide. He will scream, but no one will answer. He will call out to his followers, but they will abandon him, just like he abandoned them. And in that moment, after spending his whole life destroying others, he will face his own destruction. Death will come to the devil, just as it comes to every soul, and when it does, this will be a moment of insult, pain, and ultimate destruction. The one who once defied God's commands, who thought of himself as the greatest, who swore to mislead people until the very end, will finally meet his downfall. His pride sparked his fall, his denial sealed his fate, and the inevitability of death will bring his mission to an end. But the question remains, what happens next? After Iblis dies, what becomes of him? Where does his soul go? What will happen to his followers, and what will be his final destination? In this journey through Iblis's fate, we will answer these questions. Iblis has spent his entire existence deceiving humanity, plotting against them, and leading them towards destruction. He has witnessed countless generations come and go. He has seen kings rise and fall, and witnessed the arrival of prophets sent to guide people back to the path of truth. In every era, he adapted himself, finding new ways to lead people away from honesty. He takes pleasure in destroying souls, and rejoices in every act of disobedience that distances a person from Allah's mercy. He whispered into the ears of the oppressors, telling them their power. The rich have always believed their wealth will protect them from death, but they've been fooled into thinking there's plenty of time to repent. Still, the truth is clear. Time is running out fast, death is inevitable, and even he can't escape it. For centuries, Satan has feared this moment, and now it's finally here. The earth, where he roamed freely for thousands of years, is no longer a safe refuge. Mountains, seas, or the secret world of jinn, nothing can hide him from Allah's command. He can't. And then he sees it. The sky turns dark, the air grows heavy, and an unstoppable force starts to come down on him. The angel of death, Malak al-Maut, appears in such a terrifying form that even the toughest souls tremble with fear. Iblis has seen this angel countless times before. He's watched him easily take the souls of the righteous. He's seen the angels of mercy welcome those souls, their faces glowing with peace. He's also seen him tear the souls of sinners apart in unbearable pain. He's heard their terrified screams as they're dragged toward punishment. But this time, it's a different matter. This time, the angel of death has come for him. Iblis is gripped by terror. He tries to run away. Changing his form, he desperately looks for a way out. He rushes to the highest peak of the mountain, but the angel of death is waiting there. He dives into the deepest ocean trench, but Malakul Maut is there too. He runs through a dark cave in a vast desert. He even tries to hide in the invisible world of the jinn, but it's all in vain. There's no escaping Allah's decree. For the first time ever, Iblis feels his existence. He feels the ultimate deepest fear. Not the fear of losing followers, not the fear of losing power, but the fear of ceasing to exist, the fear of the unknown. He knows exactly what awaits him, a punishment beyond imagination. And he knows no plea or mercy can change his fate. The angel of death says nothing, makes no compromises, delays no moment. He simply does what he's commanded. With unimaginable power, he reaches out to take the devil's soul. Unlike the faithful, whose souls are taken gently and mercifully, the devil's soul from his body. It's ripped apart so violently that every bit of its being seems torn to shreds. The pain it causes is way worse than anything humanity has ever faced. It's more terrible than the suffering of those it deceived. This is endless, eternal, and heart-wrenching. Iblis screams, writhes, and fights back, but it's all in vain. The moment he feared has come. Now, he's no longer the deceiver. He's the one being deceived. The power that once promised his followers joy and freedom is now powerless, broken, and alone. His cries echo through the sky and the earth. But no one mourns him. No one feels sorry for him. The angels don't cry for him, and the honest workers don't grieve over him. The only thing that welcomes him is his eternal punishment. When his soul is torn from his body, the inhabitants of the heavens rejoice, and the earth breathes a sigh of relief. The jinn, both good and bad, stand stunned. All the creatures of the universe witness the downfall of the one who defied Allah for thousands of years. And just like that, Iblis, the one who once thought he was better than Adam and refused to bow down in humility, turns to dust. But so what happens next? The devil's death isn't just the end of one person. It's the end of an era. It's the closing chapter of the story of existence. His death signals the start of the final days. His army, his demons who blindly followed him, fell into chaos. They always looked to him for guidance, for leadership in their war against humanity, but now their master is gone, and with him all their certainty shatters. In the depths of darkness, his followers start turning against each other. They whisper in fear about themselves. They start questioning their fate. They always believed that the devil would outlast them all, that he'd forever be their commander. But now they realize they're mortal too. They have to face the same end. The chains that held them together begin to break, and panic spreads among them. Yet there's no sorrow for the devil's death among humanity. The righteous rejoice at the news, knowing their greatest enemy has fallen. The prophets, martyrs, and believers who fought against his evil schemes stand victorious. The tyrant and sinner, and those who chose to follow him, are left with nothing but regret. Then the truth of his betrayal becomes clear to everyone who had trusted him, who worshipped him, who sold their souls for his false promises. Now they understand just how deep his deception was. The Quran predicted this moment, And the devil will say, when everything is trembling with fear, surely Allah made you a true promise, and I also promised you, but I broke my promise with you. I broke my promise to you, not because I had any control over you, but simply because I called you and you responded to my call. So don't blame me, blame yourselves instead. The followers mentioned in Surah Ibrahim 14:22 once thought he would lead them to power and happiness, but now they stand abandoned with no escape and no way back. They realized the truth too late. They were deceived, and now they must face the consequences. This is the legacy of Satan. His empire, built on lies, is collapsing on earth. He moves forward without them, his name becoming a warning sign, a symbol of pride and downfall. But his fate isn't fully sealed yet, because his final destination is still waiting. The punishment promised to him since the moment he defied God is now approaching. The gates of hell creak open, ready to unleash a fire beyond human imagination. His fall isn't just a personal loss, it's the end of everything he worked for. The end of his deceit, the end of his reign, the end of his rebellion marks the start of an endless suffering he can never escape. Iblis, who once freely whispered into the hearts of humans and jinn, is now facing his inevitable fate. His soul has been torn from his body in unimaginable pain. His screams of agony echo through the vastness of creation. But death isn't the end for Iblis. Just as he made others believe their lives would go on without consequence, now he must face the consequences of his own existence. When his soul is taken away, the universe doesn't mourn for him. The one who walked the earth, flew through the skies, and polluted all living creatures. Everyone silently watches his downfall. His name used to be feared and cursed, and those who followed his wicked ways were called out, but now he is nothing. Yet his punishment has only just begun. The angel of death takes his soul, and what happens next is a judgment unlike any other. When the souls of the righteous depart, angels of mercy embrace them, wrapping them in fragrant shrouds, leading a procession of light and peace. They take them to paradise with them. But Iblis is neither righteous nor deserving of mercy. The moment his soul is taken, the angels of punishment confront him. Their presence is unbearable, and their forms are more terrifying than anything you can imagine. They are not gentle beings who welcome the faithful, nor just neutral collectors of souls. They are the enforcers of divine justice, assigned to punish the worst of creation, and Iblis is the worst among them all. They wrap his soul not in a cloth of purity, but in a dark, foul-smelling sack, the essence of punishment. It stinks so bad that even the lowest demons get scared and retreat. Its soul is dragged down to the deepest level of existence, through the gates of heaven it once dared to enter. But now, at every level, it's denied entry. The angels at the gates don't greet it with light or blessings. Instead, they curse it and reject it with hatred, throwing it down beneath the earth where it waits for the final judgment. But the punishment doesn't end there. The torment of the grave awaits the true person when the devil is locked away in an earthly tomb, trapped in endless torment in the world he was cast into. The walls of his prison crush him, suffocating him in a place that feels infinite. He's never given a moment of rest. The angels of punishment keep attacking him, reminding him of every lie he told, every soul he led astray, every false promise he whispered into humanity's ear. In this state, time becomes unbearable. He's stuck in that agony, awaiting his ultimate resurrection. They keep waiting. When all of creation gathers before their Lord, the day comes when the trumpet is blown, signaling the end of all life. Mountains crumble, the seas bubble and boil, and the sky tears apart. Everything left is destroyed. Mighty angels, jinn, humans, creatures of the heavens and the earth, all face death. Even the angel of death himself is commanded to die. And then only Allah remains, as he always was and always will be. Then when the trumpet is blown a second time, life returns. The souls of humanity, their bodies come back to life. They rise from their graves confused and terrified. The day of judgment has begun. Among those gathered is Satan himself. He isn't given any special treatment, nor is he spared from the humiliation he used to inflict on others. He's dragged along roughly, publicly shamed, and made to stand right among the people he deceived. His followers, those who worshipped him, obeyed him, and believed in his lies, now stand there struck with fear and panic, realizing all the promises of power, freedom, and joy were empty. They used to believe him, but now, when they see him standing there helpless and punished just like them, they probably realize he never had any real power. What he did was just whispering. Only those who wanted to listen did. Then Allah spoke before all creation. The final verdict was passed and Iblis's fate was sealed. Hell, the place where he wanted to drag others, is now calling him. The chains of Allah's wrath hold him tight, binding his body and dragging him down into that bottomless pit. The moment he'd been waiting for from the very start had finally come. The gates of hell swung open, and the fire roared to life. The flames, eager to devour its most notorious resident, seemed to recognize him, growing hotter the closer he got. He resisted, begged and struggled, but there was nowhere to run. His pride, his defiance, his proclaimed superiority, all of it had brought him to this moment. And now, all that was left was regret. As he was thrown deep inside, he felt a pain like no other. It's way worse than anything forced on humanity. Fire wraps around him, burning every part of his being. The chains tighten. The weight of his sins crushes him with unbearable force. Every moment is painful. Yet death doesn't come. He doesn't die. He doesn't cease to exist. He's kept alive to suffer, to feel, to regret. But maybe the worst punishment isn't the fire or the chains or the pain. It's the knowledge that he's failed. He wanted to prove he was the best. Instead, he's been humiliated. He wanted to lead others astray, but now they curse his name. He tried to escape death, yet he was forced to suffer forever. His cries echo into the void, but no one listens. His followers, who once praised him, now curse him. They shout at him, blame him for their fate, demand answers and beg for freedom. But he can't give them anything. He's trapped too, punished as well. And just like the Quran predicted, he delivered his final message to his followers. Don't blame me after saying these things. Blame yourselves. I only whispered, and you heard. I had no power over you. I just called out, and you responded. This is the ultimate betrayal, the final proof of his deceit. Then he's consumed by fire, drowning in a pain that will never end. But true believers don't feel sorry for him. The righteous find peace knowing their greatest enemy has been defeated. The prophet, the martyrs, and the worshippers who resisted his evil schemes, they were all under Allah's justice. Those who stayed firm are filled with joy, and when Satan sinks into the abyss, the gates of paradise open for them. They enter the eternal gardens, welcomed by angels, embraced by their Lord's mercy. There's no fear, no deceit, no whisper of doubt there. For Satan, there's only fire. For the faithful, there's only peace. In the end, Satan's story isn't just about his fall. It's a lesson, a reminder that pride leads to destruction, disobedience leads to regret, and Allah's mercy is there for those who seek it. His story is over, but the stories of those still alive are yet to be written. Will they follow his path, or will they turn back to their Creator before it's too late?